Good evening, everybody, and it is now time for Shear Chat. I am so excited. This is Rashawn Broadnax here at the Sea Island Signature Salon, also known as the Shear Chat Studio, and I am here with my guest this evening, Miss Tonia Coley. I'm so excited to have Tonia with me tonight. We have had a whirlwind weekend. We have been busy, I think, since all last week, all the way up to this week, and I was happy to see the weekend come.
I'm happy to see it go.
I was about to say, I don't think I've ever been happy to see it go. But, so I like to introduce to some and present to others because many of you probably know who she is. It is none other than Tonia Coley. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. You know, I was excited to have you on the list of guests that I wanted to have because I think you have... I don't want to say that because it's not polite to speak to the languages in front of people. But, you know, you have an element that I really enjoy. So I enjoy seeing you on a daily basis, even though she runs me crazy sometimes.
Always.
But, you know, I enjoy her. So, Tonia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a D.C. native, 47 years old, single parent. I have 4 daughters. I run Beautiful Braids by Tonia. I have a nonprofit, Girls Stand Up and Stand Out. I'm currently enrolled in the Bennett Career Institute as an ILC student to achieve my instructor's license, in which I have 300 hours left.
Ooh, there you go.
And then I'll be out of there. So then I'll be instructing natural hair and braiding because I do natural hair, braids, locks, weaves, and all that.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So you're the owner of Beautiful Braids by Tonia. You have a nonprofit. You are in school to obtain your instructor's license.
Oh, yeah, and I have I make handmade tutus.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you have a lot going on. So tell me what sparked your passion for hair?
Well, I've been braiding. Well, I've been doing hair since I was 7 years old, and I've always had a love for creating and manipulating hair. So, I mean, and I like to design and my niche is cornrolling because I love the cornrows. So that's, it started at a young age. It started at a young age, so I never seen myself doing anything else but hair, not with braids. So that's where it came from.
Okay. So then tell me, I think I first encountered you in the actual braiding, the natural hair and braiding course. Mm-hmm. And so now you've moved on to come back for your instructor's license. What prompted you to do that? Because
there are no natural hair teachers, instructors in D.C. Well, I think it's one. Mm-hmm. And right now, I don't think she's practical. She can't do the practical, and I can do the theory and the practical portion.
Right. So she's very adept with her theory knowledge. Yes.
Yeah, she's very adept with her theory knowledge, but she's just not a hands-on. Right. So I'm more hands-on. I'm the more hands-on person that they'll have out there.
And I think that is something that that people would really appreciate, you being able to not only give them the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge behind dealing with natural hair and infection control and all of that, but as well as being able to show them how to style, because you are a fantastic stylist.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because there's some people out here that don't know how to braid and want to learn.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm here for, the young girls and the older women, because a lot of the ones that have enrolled in the class recently, because I am the part-time practical instructor at night at the Bennett Career Institute also. So the ones that can't braid, that's what I'm there for, to actually teach them how to braid.
To physically braid.
To physically braid.
And so you bring in Bennett Career Institute. So part of what we did this weekend was we participated in what we called the People's Conference this year. So last week, if you tuned in, my guest Leah, she and I talked about continuing education. The event that we participated in this week was one side continuing education and another side the People's Conference, really towards really giving back to the general public.
Giving back to the community.
So we had hair braiding, we had hair styling, lash application, and barber cuts. Tonia was the lead on the braiding stage, and that was through the brand Tonia Coley,
yes.
which was one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
And so that was really awesome. Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Well, it was an awesome experience, and I really enjoyed it because I got to actually be hands-on and really see what it's like to be up there on stage and to be the lead up there on stage and to have all the responsibilities to make sure everything went right. And I'm so glad that regardless of the fact that everybody did not you show up like they were supposed to, everything still turned out. It was awesome. You know, we still serviced everybody that was there to be serviced. Everybody, you know, they loved their hair. And I actually got to teach while I was up there doing hair also.
Which was great. And you did mention that everybody did not participate as planned, you know, which was good. But I think one of the part of the spirit of the conference was that
even though they didn't show it still
there, really did what we were supposed to do.
We stepped up.
Made sure that everything got taken care of. So that to me was just, it was amazing for the whole conference. You know, I looked at one side to the other of the room and I just saw so many people pitching in, really doing, you know, what I wouldn't expect them to do. But they did it to make sure that things ran smoothly. So that was, you know, just a great portion of the conference for me.
Yeah, because there was one guy, I don't even know his name, but he's a barber.
Okay.
And he was all over the place. He kept coming, you need me to get the trash, you need me to move this, you need me to do anything.
I have an idea of who it is.
And he said he was there from 3 o'clock in the morning. He said he had been...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said he had been there from 3 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, when I saw him, I was like, you been here all that time and you still just amped like that? He said, my adrenaline is pumping.
Yeah.
So I just got to move. And it was the little short one. He was everywhere. He kept coming. Every time I had my foot on the ground, he'd be like, you need me to get that trash? I'm like, oh my God.
But you know what? That's one of the things that we need. When we are in the mode of servicing, you know, you need somebody that's going to be there to really assist you.
Yeah, and that was good.
Not just say it with words, you know, and just kind of sit back and let things happen. But he was very proactive, like you said, with picking up things.
Yeah, and made sure every set was clean, made sure everything was handled. He made sure everybody had everything that they needed. I mean, you know, it was like you could not be without anything because if you look over your shoulder, he was somewhere he was somewhere around there waiting for somebody to ask him to do. I mean, he was actually like, he was waiting for somebody to ask him to do something.
To me, I felt he was the perfect assistant.
And he was. He really was.
Perfect assistant.
He did a great job. Once I get his name, I'm going to tell him. He did a great job.
So let's talk about protective hairstyles for a minute because I think that is something that you're very good with. And so tell us a little bit about protective styling.
Well, protective styling is... it's for you to leave your hair alone. Keep your hands out of your hair so that it will keep your hair in the growing stages. So it will grow properly and you could just take a moisture. All you would have to do is moisturize it. And some of the protective styles are like these Molly twists that I have in. You can get the crochets that we were doing yesterday with the Curlfinity hair from Tonia Coley. And they have all different colors, soft to touch. I think I already memorized that. And I mean, it's for you. It's for the people. It's to protect you, and it's to protect your hair. So you won't have to do as much to your hair, styling with hot irons and relaxers and things like that. And it will give your hair a chance to grow and your scalp a chance to breathe.
I love the fact that there are so many companies now really looking towards protective styling, so it gives the consumer so much more to look forward to as opposed to, you know, like when I have clients and they say, well, I'm going away for vacation, what can you suggest? And I'm like, braid, you know, because that's like the common thing. But there's so many styles now. So the companies are really looking at natural hair styling and figuring out where can they fit in with that. That to me is just absolutely amazing. I think Tonia Coley has done a great job with really looking forward and, you know, trying to project what they can do, because initially we thought they were just going to provide braiding hair. But they came and they said, no, we're going to do the crochet. Exactly.
It was something
different. And it was different. It was unexpected. And I was just surprised so many of the
women liked it. And so
liked
many
it
of them
and they
wanted it. Yeah,
right.
and so many of them wanted it yesterday. And when I was doing my model's hair, and because I started her first before anybody else started. So when I really got to put it in and pull it apart, and they saw her hair, all you saw, all the crowd was saying, "Oh, I want that, I want that, I want that." So, and I think, you know, that was like the build up
Right.
for everybody when after they saw it get installed, and after they saw me pull it apart, and they saw what you can do with it.
Right.
Because once you get that 20-inch in your hair, you can style that in other styles. You can get that cut down to other styles. It's versatile.
Right.
You don't have to wear it in just one style. I know you can get at least 3 different styles out of there.
And I think that's where you're really great, is giving a client options, because I watched that as I circled throughout the room. I noticed, I said, each model looks different. You know, some people are not very good with the style and eyeing a style for a person. And so they'll say, okay, you know, this is the hair, I'm going to install it. Once it's installed, that's it. You know, but like you said, you can cut it, you can shift it. The way you install it can give you all different kinds of looks. So I thought you did a great job with that. So in terms of protective styling, what is your opinion about weaving?
Well, weaving is good. Weaving, if you get the right person that knows how to install it, weaving is good. It's also a protective style to me. Weaving is considered a protective style because you don't have to do anything to your hair. Your hair is protected underneath of those cornrows.
Right.
So I think that's an excellent way for people to take care of their hair also with the weaving. It's just that don't leave it in like you're pregnant, and don't do like 9 months with your weaves. I mean, you know, take the weave out and get your hair shampooed, and then go back and get it reinstalled.
Right.
You know,
one of the things that I promote with my clients in terms of weaving or those services is that you have to come back for maintenance.
Yeah.
So I devise a maintenance plan for my clients so that they know you need to come back in between. Now, of course, everybody is not able to afford to do that. Everyone can't come to the salon very regularly, but I think the most important thing that we can do is provide them with the information. So even if we're not able to, say, shampoo and maintenance it for them in between, they know exactly what they need to do at home, because that to me is where a lot of the problems start.
Yeah, and that's
true. When they're not educated about what to do with it.
Yeah, because they need the education on what to do with their hair once they get it installed, and especially the ones that can't afford to come back and get it maintenance. That's why sometimes when I do the crochets, if I know that I have some clients that leave it in for 2 months, so I'll tell her, you know, go in between your parts. Make sure you put some type of moisture on your scalp. You know what I'm saying? And then once you take it, if you can't take it out, you know, just come to me and we'll work something out. In reference to you trying to snatch it out, then you be having ball spots. Then you know, because some people don't know how to.
Absolutely.
They're aggressive with their own hair, and they'll pull ball spots in their hair, and then they'll come back thinking that we're magicians, thinking that we can cornrow a ball spot.
Right.
I mean, you know, I can do a lot. Baby, I can do a lot. I can do a whole lot. But I don't think I can wave my magic wand and put no hair in your bald spots, man.
And see, I think that's an excellent point. My solution for that is I don't allow my clients to take their own extensions out. That was something that I started some years ago when I did have a client that did that. You know, so she was able to remove the extension hair. And then as she tried to go through and cut threads, she started cutting her
hair. Yeah.
So, of course, when she came back and I went through it, I said, you know, you have some short pieces in here. She's like, oh, really? Yes, you do. So, you know, at that moment, I said, now it's going to be difficult for me to manipulate those portions. I have to figure out how to braid around and all that. So I just said, now, most of my clients, well, just all of them really, they have to come in to have their extensions removed. It is a fee which is built into their service charge. But I would much rather do it myself so that I can see it. I would rather do it myself versus them having someone else do it, because I know how I braid. I know my patterns. It's easy for me to remove what I've put in as opposed to something, you know, having somebody else do it.
Yeah, and I don't like to do over top of somebody else's work anyway,
Absolutely.
you know, because I had just had a phone call. Somebody asked me to finish their hair with somebody's style, and I told her I don't do things like that. So, you know, I don't work over people's work and work under people's work.
Right, I agree. I had a client this past week who also did the same. I had given her an installation. She wanted to come back. I wasn't able to service her due to the time frame. So she went somewhere, and the person that she saw installed additional hair. They bonded some hair. And now, mind you, she has a sewn weave from
And
me.
somebody they bonded?
And they added bonded hair. You know, so they did a couple of things to try to
Cover it up.
elongate, you know, her wear. But to me, I told her, I said, you know what, I would much rather that you did not do those things, because the hair that was installed was a little different. The thread that she used was different. And I personally am a proponent of using nylon thread. She used cotton thread, and so I had to explain to her that the
It's a
cotton
difference.
thread is a difference, and it also cuts hair, you know. Cotton swells. It's going to keep that moisture. As your hair sweat or your scalp sweats, it's going to maintain that moisture. So you're doing a lot that reverses the work that I've done. So, you know, it's important that we educate the clients so that they understand and that they know certain things, so that when they do go other places, they could at least say, well, you know, this is what I need done. This is how I need it done.
And
you
this
know?
is how it's done on a regular basis.
Exactly.
But what they have to understand is, it's a lot of people out here that can do hair, but everybody is not in it for the same reasons.
Absolutely.
And everybody doesn't want to take care of your hair. Some people
They miss
just
the
want to
point
do
of
your
hair
hair to
care.
get the money.
Right.
And if you get with somebody that's really into taking care of hair, they'll make sure that your hair grows and your hair is healthy, and you don't have to worry about nobody else doing anything wrong to your hair, because you know that the person that you're going to actually loves your hair. Because
Absolutely.
after you've done it for so long, it's like you've become family with
Right.
that person.
Absolutely.
So, and it's a bond that you have with your clients. And you know, you don't want to, well, everybody's just not the same. so-
Absolutely. But see, that's why there's a client for everyone. I always tell people, you know, there's no reason for us to try to steal clients from each other,
Thank
because
you.
there is a client for
everybody.
And there's a stylist for every
everybody.
client.
Yeah.
You know, and so people will gravitate to you for certain reasons. Your clientele will gravitate to you for certain reasons. So I never really have to worry, or I say I don't concern myself with
The competition
stealing
thing.
right, and all that kind of stuff. There's something and someone for every one of us. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we're going to go into our topics for the evening.
Okay.
All right? Hey, Tony. No, you just leave it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just let it run for a second. I just need a break.
I thought you were
Hey,
turning it off
people.
or something.
No, so, okay. Hey,
It
y'all.
wouldn't let that, you're still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So,
Mine cut off from the first one.
Yeah, I turned it back on.
Yeah, but it cut off. It started all over again.
Oh, yeah, no, because I don't know if you got it was a call or.
Yeah, I think it was a text. Okay.
so if you can, I don't know.
What?
Can you see, are there any questions or anything?
Oh, wait a minute, because I slid the thing over. Somebody named Chat.
Chet Bennett.
He said, yeah, him. He said, go Tonya. Yeah, that was amazing. I don't think I just started.
No,
Aja-
yesterday he's talking about.
Aja Yet said, great for you.
Hey, Aja.
Somebody named Portia Braxton, I guess you know.
Broadnecks.
Broadnecks.
Put your glasses back on.
Yeah.
Boy's schedule has me missing episodes.
That's my sister.
Okay, you know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, he the only one who
Walker
would.
says yes, work, and then she says, Tonya, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
And that was it.
Okay, great. So, guys, if you have any questions for Tonya or myself throughout the evening, please let us know. As we take breaks, we will try to come back and
answer
address those questions. Okay? Ooh. All right, so.
What is the best way to maintain your styling in between visits to the salon?
All right, everyone, welcome back. So I'm here this evening. My name is Rashawn Broadnax, and this is Shear Chat with Rashawn with my guest for the evening, Miss Tonia Coley of Beautiful Braids by Tonia. We just had a question, which was how can we maintain our hair in between visits?
Tie
So-
it down. Make sure you moisturize it. And I don't know what type of styles you're talking about, but I know if you're wearing
Well,
like,
let's just say any type of natural style. What would you suggest?
make sure you keep it tied down at night when you're sleeping. Maybe like a silk scarf or something, because I don't like those cotton things.
Right.
I like the silk ones. And make sure you moisturize it. And grease your scalp, because a lot of people don't grease their scalp, and they come to the salon and their scalp be just like caked up. And grease your scalp, please. It's just
Tonia is
5
imploring you,
minutes.
please grease your scalp.
Please.
First of all, she sounds like a stylist from the 60s. Grease your scalp, please. Please grease your scalp. So one of the things now see, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's actually something that I do not really advise for my clients.
What, to grease their scalp?
Yes, but see, we do two different things. So you're more of natural hairstyling, where the application of I'm not going to say the grease, but
we'll oil it.
Right.
I mean, use some type of oil,
So
something.
the thing is, like for most of my clients, because the hair style is to stay light,
Yeah.
fluffy, moving, and bouncy, you can't really apply oil to it really regularly. So I try to, when they come in for service, give them, a treatment so that it will infuse that moisture into the scalp, infuse moisture into the hair, so they really shouldn't have to do much. And then periodically throughout the week, my thing is massage your scalp, because you'll bring up the natural oil, but the natural oil will not be so heavy that it will weigh the hair down when you have those styles.
Yeah, but
So-
see, with braids and cornrows and things,
Right, you
the
need
only
to
thing
do
they
that.
have to get to is the part,
Is
so
scalp.
they can oil their scalp, because to put all of that stuff on their hair will make the hair, stink
Right.
and all that. So I would rather them, just take a little and
And
go
dab it
lightly
through,
through
right.
your scalp and do it to keep your
We
hair
have one
little.
other question.
From Anita Lovable Leo Banks.
Yeah.
What is the best style for someone who is starting to transition relaxer to natural, and what are some of the conditioners you recommend?
Okay.
Well, if you're transitioning from relaxer to natural, I don't know how far in your transition you are, but you can wear braids, and you can try a couple of twist outs, and you can use any kind of conditioner that's will work for, because you may still have relaxer in your hair. I don't know how far you are in your transition.
So
There's a gentleman named Chet King.
Chet?
somebody.
Yes.
He is recommending a morphed beauty bar. I guess you can get it at some place named Cielo Signature Salon.
That's it.
Okay.
Am I pronouncing that right? Morphed
No,
beauty bar?
but
Who is it?
I don't know. No, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you. We're actually going to move on to another topic right now. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about this evening is this whole debate that we have going on now with, unfortunately, last week we covered the Broward County shooting, where unfortunately 17 teenagers were killed by the gun person who came in. So now everybody's trying to figure out what can we come up with as a solution. And one of the solutions that were proposed this past week was that we arm our teachers
No, that's
in
not
the
a
classroom.
solution. That's a bigger
And so-
problem.
And so they said, President Trump said that he wanted to get teachers who had military training, those who were actually trained to be able, and who were trained previously, to be able to carry their concealed weapons in the classroom so that they would be able to deter or fight off those that may come in and try to harm the students. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a good solution at all to arm the teachers, because any little incident, and you don't know the thinking of the teacher. You don't know the thinking of the child. or whatever, the situation may not even be that bad, and they may end up with somebody getting shot. So I don't think that that's a solution at all. I think what they need to do is set forth some type of where the parents can go and have some type of schooling or some type of therapy sessions or something, because it's not from the kids are getting this from somewhere, but you have to start with the parents first. Because
So you think a lot of it stems from things that may be happening in the home?
I mean, in the home, outside of the home, the peer pressure, it could be coming from a lot of things, but I just don't think arming a teacher would be a good
best
thing,
solution.
because you already see where the teachers are beating up the kids. So just imagine if you put a gun in a teacher's hand and in the wrong teacher's hand, and this teacher can be racist also, or crazy. You never know. This teacher may just blank out and shoot up the classroom. So, you know, I can't say that that's a good solution, Donald Trump. I cannot say that that's a good solution, Donald Trump.
So now this was the thing. My feeling about it was that I wasn't in agreement with that, because I don't think that it's the teacher's responsibility. Teachers sign up to, to give education, to educate, not really to defend. That's not their job. That's not their role. That's not their lot in life. And so I think that when it comes to arming a teacher, I'm also with you. I thought anything can happen. As much as we look at students saying students may have mental issues which cause them to do, we don't know the state of the teachers as well. And of course, I'm sure he's thinking we will have safeguards. We're going to, do background checks. We're going to do all this stuff to ensure, but you will never really know. And I just don't feel comfortable with a teacher having a gun. And then
My child can't go to a school if the teacher got to have a gun.
My other fear was that what if there was something to take place in the classroom where a child took the gun from
and
the
shot
teacher.
the teacher? Then what?
So I really worry about that, even though as I was listening this week, there's a city in Texas, it's called Callisburg, Texas, where 150 plus out of 1,000 plus school districts currently have adopted a program called the Guardian Program. Now, I first came across the Guardian Program when, unfortunately, they had the shooting in South Carolina at the church. And there were a group of guys who came on TV and they said, well, what they would like to see happen is this Guardian Program enacted in other cities. And basically what it was similar to what Donald Trump was saying, but parishioners would have gun training, and they would also have like concealed arm carry licenses, so that when they come to church or what have you, they are, yes, a parishioner, but they are also acting in the mode of a security person. So if anyone were to do that, they would be trained to help defend, all those that are in the church. So I said, I could deal with that in a place like a church, but I just couldn't think of it as being rightful in the place of a school. I just don't think that in a school where there are young people, we would really need to have firearms.
No, why not go back and refinance all these recreation centers that you closed down? Why not go back and redo all these boys and girls clubs? You took away everything that the kids had to do. Now the kids don't have anything else to do but listen to these gangster rap songs, be on the corner, and their mind is really not going anywhere because it's not building. They have nothing to build it up. Everything out here now, to me, especially in this mainstream media, is tearing these kids apart, and to me, you took away everything that could build these kids up. Because when I was growing up in the recreation center, we had all types of programs that the kids could get involved in. Now, you don't even have, they're tearing down the churches. They're tearing down the churches to build condos. Don't you have enough people?
Right.
I mean, don't you have enough empty buildings that you can go refurbish and
right.
let these people rent these apartments out or make them condos? You tear down institutions that can actually help people to build somewhere for some that you can't even afford to live in. And I think that's crazy.
What do you think, if you could pull together a group of hairstylists, what do you think that we could do if we wanted to try to help or support the youth in giving them something to do?
Maybe mentor some, take some in under our wing and kind of sort of try to find out what they want to do and then go from there, because everybody, you know, lately I've been seeing parents living vicariously through their children because of them wanting to be in the streets when they were young and having kids at a young age. They didn't get to really live out a lot of things they wanted to do. So a lot of them now are living vicariously through their kids, forcing their kids to do certain things. If you sit the kids down and really find out what these kids want to do, and then we can go from there, and then maybe we can build from there after we find out what they, because some of them may want to be artists, some of them may want to do hair, some of them may want to sing, some of them may want to be teachers. I mean, you know, but we have to get with the kids and ask questions. We have to ask questions instead of always talking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're so used to always talking. I'm sorry. I'm in your screen.
That's all right.
I'm so sorry. You can cut it off.
Okay. So, you know, we're dealing with this technology.
I know,
We have all things going on. I'm not going to tell you what happened last week. But, so we're talking about what can we do. So I agree definitely when it comes to mentoring. One thing, I like to talk to people. I like to share the benefit of, you know, my short life experience, because I think we all have a story. We all have, you know, gone through some things.
They don't want to hear mine.
Well,
Mine's is a horror story.
Well, but the thing is,
and they may need to hear it to wake them up.
I was going to say, whatever your story is, there are things in it that you may see someone else heading towards or going down a path that whatever you have to share may deter or kind of steer them away from that. So I think a lot of times that's why I really like to talk about, you know, even though I can't say that I have a bad story. However, I have a story. And everyone has a story, and no matter what it is,
well, I have bad stories.
Well, I mean, and you must, you know, you have to share that with the right person.
Yeah.
Okay? So then moving on, you know, what do you feel about bringing the youth into the beauty industry as far as working in the salon? So like years ago, we would have children or the youth come in and work, and now we're not really able to do that. We're not legally able to allow them to shampoo and all those things. So what do you think, how do you think we could reach the young people, give them something to do, especially those who may be interested in the beauty industry?
Well, I've had some call me and ask me, can they come and shampoo? And because they can't do it, I've had to turn them down. And I felt kind of bad because they may be the next up-and-coming star stylist. And the thing about it is because they're coming up with so many different laws back to back to back. It's like every other year, it's another law coming out in reference to style and braiding or whatever. So it's kind of sort of keeping you from reaching back and helping these kids that want to do. But me, myself, per se, I will slide one or two in and let them a couple of times come through and shampoo. Like when I do especially like when I do my back to school braids event for the kids in the DC General Shelter. That would be a good experience for them, you know, a young child to come and experience giving back. And that would be a way that they can have their hands on in the salon to do something like that. Or when I'm throwing events or something, and I know it's going to be a huge amount of people that's coming in there to be serviced, then I pull one or two of them in to help out and do that.
Right. And, you know, my thing is I like to give people, I like to offer them the experience. My thing is I usually do it with our students at the school. I'll ask those who say, oh, you know, I want to come work with you. Okay, well, come work with me for a day and just see if that's something that you would want to do. Because I think even though the mode of an assistant today is very different than it was years ago, some people still are not cut to do it now.
Yeah.
You know, even
they're not ready.
We're not as strict and rigid as we were years ago, which I think is what really built and made
a lot of
stylists.
Yeah, because I know at one time it was there was no cell phones.
Right.
It was only phones. But you couldn't even go answer the phone because most of the salons had their own receptionists.
Right.
So there was no need for no one to go have to answer a phone. And you couldn't be with the loud radios and the cursing and it's just that a lot of salons just weren't having it, you know, back then. So if you weren't built for it, you weren't going to be in there, you know. And if you didn't have the professionalism to work in that environment, it wasn't for you in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the talking over top of the client's heads all day on the phone, I think that's rude.
That's one of the rudest things.
That's rude.
That you
and
can
I think that you leaving your client to go and do things because I know before I locked my hair, I went to a salon and got my hair done. And my stylist left me under the dryer and went to the mall and go get some shoes. And I was just like, I'm sitting there and I was like, I know my hair dry. And I called him on the phone and I was like, okay, so where you at? He was like, oh, I ran out while you was under the dryer. You not finished yet? I said, yes, I am. You know, I ain't got... My hair is thin. Come on here, you know.
Yes.
I think, things like that.
Those little things that lend to customer service have broken down over the years. I often tell people one of the things that attracted me to the industry was the glamour, the glitz of it, the professionalism. There was a salon in New Jersey that I never went in. And it was almost like, I guess, like a kid marveled at, one of the Macy's store windows. I used to look through the window, and I never would go inside because I was just intimidated. But it was called the House of Hair. And this is, I'm telling you, when I was 17, intimidated to go inside. And I would look, and I would just look at all the guys and the ladies in there doing hair, and they looked absolutely fabulous. The way they carried themselves, absolutely fabulous. The professionalism that they exude, the customer service that they gave to the clients, that was one of the first very large, 10 plus chair salons that I had ever seen. And to see it well run like that, was just amazing to me. And that was one of the things that made me say, I would like to do that, even though I never really thought I would. But I just was always amazed by it. And I think so much of that we have lost, as the years have gone by, our professionalism has decreased. And I think in order for us to really gain back our industry, gain back the clients that we have lost, to, unfortunately, I'm going to say it, that we have lost to the home stylists, we have to become those professionals again so that, so that we can have the clients back in the salon, because this is where they should be coming.
Yeah, that's true. And that's just like when I thought I came to the idea of opening up my salon when I did, because I learned how to do what did I learn how to do? I had went to the salon to see them do the, what is them things called? Puffy twist.
Okay.
Because when they first came out, I didn't know what they was, and I saw them in this lady's hair. And I said, where you get them done? And she told me. So I went there and got my hair done so I could learn how to do it. Because I'm the type, once I see you do it, I know I got it. So I went in there and got my hair done so I could learn how to do this style. And no shade, but the African salons, they were dirty. They were speaking in French. they never spoke a word of English except for, how can I help you? And told you how much money they owed you. The lady had her baby on her back, and she, you know, she came, she sat, she put food on the thing and fed her baby and all of that. And I was just like, this is why it take 9 hours to get your hair done. Because this lady gotta change her baby, she gotta feed her baby. I mean, so I was just like, oh, nah. When I get older, I'm gonna get me a salon. You know, so I was just like, this is crazy.
Well, I think that's one of the things, you know, like you said, it lends to the professionalism that, unfortunately, I'll say definitely in the DC area, we had gone through a time where those who braided did not have to have license.
Yeah,
so
we did.
They were really unmonitored. They were untaught in the ways of a professional business.
Supposed to have.
You know, it was, I have a place and I'm just braiding, you know? And so I thought it was excellent when DC included the braiders.
I didn't.
And, well, it's okay.
I really did.
It's okay, because the thing is, the good part is that each one that now has gotten their license, they have been trained on infection control.
That's true.
They have been trained on bacteriology.
That's true.
So they know this is to help the consumer. So even though they are braiding, and that was like the give and take, how we can't teach them how to braid. This is something that many of them have been doing all their lives. So we can't teach them that, but what we can teach them are the sciences and the health practices behind what they are doing, so they can ensure that people are not losing their hair unnecessarily, that we're not transmitting communicable diseases to them, you know, from, you know, standard pityriasis to anything else. You know, so I just thought it was great. It was a great push for them to be included. But then also, I thought, from looking at it from their standpoint, you're now really included in the industry.
That's true, because we were pushed to the side for a long time, and now we're front and center, thanks to the ones that did go back and get their license, like me. Because, and it was different for me because I started working in and out of the salons when I was 16, so I already kind of sort of knew like the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts of being in a salon. So when they came up with the idea that braiders had to get a license, I was just like, I'm 40 years old now. I got to get a license to do this?
That was the same thought that a lot of people had, you know. But you think about it, when you have the ability to touch people in a personal way, you really do need to be taught. You really do need to have a certification or a license under your belt when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, it's a great thing, and it is a push because it gives you the more professional aspect.
Absolutely.
It's when people are looking for somebody to do their hair instead of them just looking for somebody in the house. Now they can look for licensed braiders.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't. And then instead of them going to those salons where they don't have the licenses, they can actually go and Google
and
for someone to have a
that has
license.
one.
Yeah. So now, and that's the thing, because now all over they have to be licensed. So.
And they can also come see.
And they can also come to Beautiful Braids by Tonia at 1603 Montello Avenue, Northeast Washington, D.C., 2002, in the Trinidad area.
Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tonia Coley, baby.
Thank you.
You know what? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a second with our final segment for the evening. We'll be back.
Angela says, we used to go to Houston and have a full lunch while our clients were under the
I know she did. I know.
We were
I'm telling you.
celebs back then because we thought our clients wouldn't go anywhere else.
Now,
I'm telling you,
Angela, they have told you something different.
And I'm telling you, I was in there, and Angie probably know Ross Ling. Ross used to do my hair. Ross used to cut. He was the only one I used to let do my hair after Mensa had passed away. And Ross used to do my hair. I swear, I was in there getting my hair done, sitting up under the dryer. Didn't pay no attention to how long I was sitting in there this time. I was like, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, I've been sitting here for a long time. Where's Ross? So then I got on my phone. I was like, okay, Queen, where you at? So then he answered, and he was like, oh, I ran down Georgetown. Because I looked online and they had these Gucci shoes I wanted. And I went down Georgetown to go get these shoes. So when he came back with the shoes, I said, well, can I at least see the
Right,
Gucci
can I
shoes
see
that
it?
I've been sitting in here for an hour and a half waiting for? So he pulled them out. I said, baby, you did not go get them big white shoes. You went and got some big white Gucci shoes on my time. Some Gucci flats at that, on my time, honey. I said, no, you didn't.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you just saw the rest of Tonia's story. Welcome back. But I have here with me tonight Tonia Coley, also known as Beautiful Braids by Tonia, of the Trinidad area.
Thank you so much.
Monticello Avenue.
Montello.
Okay.
Montello.
Northeast Washington,
Thank
D.C.
you.
Okay, so we're entering our final segment. Lord have mercy. You see everybody trying to get
I know,
Tonia.
everybody trying to talk to me today. And if I was in the house, my phone wouldn't be ringing.
So we're in our final segment of the evening, and I wanted to talk about, these are our hot topics.
Okay.
Well, really, I don't want to say they're hot topics, but these are our final topics, yes. So I saw this week, as I was looking online, and a clip came across the computer about Wendy Williams.
Child, I don't know nothing about Wendy, Wendell, Cleophas, Dreyfus, Emmanuel.
Oh, wait a minute. So what happened? Okay, so I know you had to have seen, I know you saw when Wendy passed out on her show,
Yes, I
right?
did. I saw that.
Okay, so,
From the costume.
well, I don't know if it was
The alleged costume.
but it, you know, it was, she said that she was feeling faint and that she dealing with some health issues. So, you know, that happened. So now it's come out that she's going to take a 3-week break, you know, because unfortunately, which I really feel bad for her, Wendy is battling Graves' disease and some other health issues, which she's been dealing with for a while. And she said that those health issues are contributing to the things that are happening now. And so at the advice of her doctor, she is going to take a 3-week break from the show.
She's going to come back with a butt.
You see what I'm saying? She's going to take a 3-week break from the show. And, you know, so my question is, I saw some comments from some guests. And they gave all different kinds of reasons as to why she would not be on the show. And one guest said, you know, 3 weeks is an odd number.
3 weeks is. I can say a month.
All right. So 3 weeks is an odd number, but also rehab is 3 weeks.
Oh. Wendell.
What do you think?
I don't know. What's she on?
Well, I mean, there's been, you know, rumor of
Drug use?
You know, substance
Then go
abuse.
to rehab, Wendy.
Okay. So I couldn't.
Where's she
I
going to
really
Betty
don't.
Ford?
Oh, I don't know.
She going to Betty
say.
Ford. She going to the Ford Center.
They didn't say. They just said that was what one of the guests said. And as I talked to someone else about it, they confirmed, they said, yes, rehab is one of the time frames is 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, well, I wonder if that's it. But then you also, now did you hear about the issue with her husband?
Yeah, she probably, that may be one of the reasons why, in reference to Wendy, she may be out there going through something with her husband, because I know they've said that he's dipped out on her a few times.
Well, the story is...
Or he likes transgenders.
Well, see, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
This one that I heard is that for the past 9 to 11 years that he has had a mistress that Wendy is aware of, you know, that...
She having a baby.
Who, the mistress?
Yeah.
No. She knows about her because it's been out in the media a couple of different times. But the thing is that the husband had purchased a home for
the other woman,
for the lady. This was some time ago, and had her living there.
What?
Okay. But then recently, she also. Tony, can you get that one, please? Also, what he did was he has now purchased this new home.
For another one?
So an even bigger, the first one was like a condo. Now he's purchased
they got a family.
No, there are no kids.
No.
but he's purchased this new home. Now, the issue is that they have been seen, all different places, vacation spots. He goes running with her. Now, the thing that caught my attention about this story is she's a very fellow beauty entrepreneur. She's an esthetician. Has been for many years, but she's not practicing right now.
We need to hire her at the Bennett Career Institute.
No, we don't need to hire
yes,
her.
that drama would be
No,
good.
we don't. But she,
But you need to put that in there, right?
no, you can't.
It just says low battery. So
Yeah,
no,
that's fine. The issue is that she has, not Wendy, I'm sorry, that the husband had purchased this new house for the lady. He has her living there, but he purchased the property in his name. So now he also purchased the condo in his name.
Oh, Wendy get ready to get that.
And so, I don't know what's going on.
Wendy might be getting ready to get all that.
But she said constantly, she says everything is fine in Huntersville, which Hunter is her last name. So she constantly shows her wedding ring, and things like that.
It's
so,
a lot of people out here show their wedding rings and have these facades on, and they just as sad at home. So Wendy is another
So
one.
do you
happy
think
for the
that-
camera, girl. You're happy for the camera. That's all it is.
So do you think that that's really affecting her?
It probably is, and she may be getting ready to have a nervous breakdown, and she probably is drinking or on some type of drugs, and she may need to go to the Betty Ford Center for 3 weeks. I mean, she may.
I hope not, and I would say to Wendy that if your marriage is causing you that kind of stress and strain,
Get help.
Sometimes you need to leave certain things alone. You have to put your own mental health and just mental security at the forefront of your life. If something else that can be removed is causing you that kind of issue, it might be best to remove it. And I think that you have built an empire, over the years that because I've been watching and listening to.
Well, I watch her every once in a blue moon, but she trashes too much.
Well, I don't, I'm not an avid watcher, but I'll say I grew up in high school when I had access to Walkman, catching the bus. I would listen to her shows then.
You know who I watch?
And so, who?
T.S. Madison. That's where I got Wendy, Wendell, Cleophas, Theodore.
We are not going to talk about that. So I grew up watching her, and I just felt bad when I heard about it. And then watching her even talk about her 3-week stay or her 3-week vacation, it was just kind of sad to see, and it looked like she was going through something.
She may be, as well as anybody else can be going through. She need that time. You got to take care of you, Wendy.
So let me ask you about this as we're getting ready to come to a close to the show. How do you feel about television personalities or, different television talking heads talking about or discussing the personal lives of celebrities?
Well, they do that anyway, and they trash each other terrible. But that's where you get all the good gossip from. that's where you get all the good.
You're okay with it?
I mean, it's not me. So until I become famous and they do it to me, so it doesn't bother me right now. I get life off of it.
Okay.
I really gags off of it sometimes. But it can be
it's the two-sided coin because I enjoy listening to it because I think when it's celebrity gossip, it's almost like a life that's untouchable. You now have an insight into what's going on.
That's just like everybody thought Beyonce was untouchable till they found out Jay-Z cheated on her, and Blue Ivy's name is after Blue Cantrell.
Yeah. No. See, she got her own gossip show.
Yes.
But
I got that gossip through the gossip on TV.
I like it as well, but I do feel bad, in a sense that I know I wouldn't want my personal dirty laundry aired.
No, but they're human. They're human.
They're human, but I also think that's why you have to, when you get to a certain level, you have to
shut it off.
Be very careful of what you do,
and where
you do it, right,
and who you doing it with.
And see, that's where I am. Like a lot of people say, "Well, I don't see you out in the club. I don't see you these various places." Because
that's like
I don't feel that that's the place for me.
Yeah, that's like now with me going to school to be a teacher. and I have to leave a lot of stuff and a lot of people and a lot of things, because if they see me doing certain things, especially if I'm out somewhere and my students are there and I'm doing, me, or being me, and my students see me out of the school, it would be a different thing to go back to school, and everybody know what I did last night from the student that was there, or even just a friend that was with me and telling all my business. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. You can't be around everything. Everybody can't be in your business. Everybody can't know everything about you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to me, I feel like a celebrity too, because I can't be around everybody anymore.
I say the same thing.
Yes.
I say the same thing. And like you said, we're both at the school, and I am very careful about
who you hang with.
Exactly, who I let that close to me, to where they become a part of my personal circle. So I have like my school circle, then I have like my inner school circle, but then there's also my personal circle. And I think it becomes dicey when you allow that line to be blurred, because you really never know
who's who and who's genuine. Because I don't have a circle anymore. I have a square. I'm serious. I have a square, and I like the square because the edges are sharp. And it keeps certain people from getting in. I like my square, because when I had the circle and I opened, as I started changing my life and doing different things, and when I went into the salon, my own salon, things started happening. And it was like from my inner circle where the things started happening. So you have to let go of a lot of people, and you can't let those people back in. So now I can't have a circle.
And
I got a square.
The most important thing is it's okay to let people.
I mean, everybody can't go.
That's right.
You don't want everybody to go.
And as we close out tonight, I just wanted to say the last little piece of information. I found out today that Ensa Cosby died at the age of 44 today. And for those who may not know, she is Bill Cosby's daughter. So she was actually the daughter who went to court with him faithfully. She was the one who really stood by him, as we watched the whole trial thing last year. She was the one that was there every day, all the time with him. And I thought it was just so sad that she died of renal failure. And so I wasn't sure really what that was, but for those who may not know, renal failure is basically the shutting down of the kidneys. It doesn't allow the body no longer allows the kidneys to cleanse, the fluids from the body. People. And that's one
drink
thing
water,
that
people.
So
you gotta drink water. You gotta flush your kidneys. You have to. And I was telling you earlier, I got a good friend, and he's younger than me, and he's fighting kidney disease right now. And when I called him this morning, he was at the dialysis. He goes to dialysis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I found myself calling him at least twice a week now, because I say, it seemed like whenever I don't call you, you'll call me and you tell me you're in the hospital. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it that when I don't talk to you, you in the hospital? Because sometimes you be the only one that make me really do what I'm supposed to do. I say,
and that's what we need.
Yeah, and I say, then that's just ridiculous. I said, that's why I'm on the phone every time I'm talking to him. What you doing today? Did you eat? Did you drink some water?
I think most of the times that's what we need. We need people that are going to check up on us. So unfortunately, we are out of time, right now. But I thank each and every one of you. I see you on there for tuning in tonight. If you enjoyed this evening's broadcast, let us see the hearts, the squares, and
the hands,
and everything else that
show
fly across the screen.
Move something. Essence was down there. Did you like Essence last night? Move. I wish they would have hit that. Move something.
You see this? All right, we thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Look, there it goes. Angie like it. Angie, move something. Angie.
This is Shear Chat with Rashawn and my special guest, Miss Tonia Coley. We had an amazing time this evening.
Angie, I missed you yesterday.
Lord have mercy.
I did. I wanted to see all my good sisters.
We want to thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to you joining us again every Monday evening at 8 p.m. for our broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and we appreciate it.
Good night.
Have a great evening.